Hello everybody, welcome to a short ad hoc version of Cranky Gun Reviews. I wanted to do a little bit of an update video on my Smith & Wesson 380 Shield EZ. The first video I posted of this, it basically cut right to the benchtop review. I had recorded a whole intro on how I got this gun and what I sold to get this gun, and it all got messed up in the jumble. I'm also trying out a new tripod that I have for my camera, and I also have a lapel mic now. I'm trying to reinvest some of my money that I get from this channel back into it, hopefully to bring you guys a little better content, so we'll see how the audio comes through. I'm not sure how this microphone is going to do outside. It's a rather inexpensive microphone, but it's wireless between my camera, so I wanted to try something different and get at least a more steady audio, because most of the time it wavers in and out when I walk past my camera. So we'll see how this works. But the story behind how I got the Shield 380 EZ goes like this. A couple weeks ago, I was out at the range with my Citadel Boss 25 shotgun. You probably watched that video if you're a follower of my channel. I took it out to the range. I had a whole assortment of buckshot and slugs and birdshot. And while I was at the range, I realized that I really hate that gun. I hated shooting it. Not that I hated the gun. It functioned fine for the most part, but I just hated shooting it. Every once in a while, you go out and you buy something that you think is going to be fantastic. You get it home, and it turns out to be a huge disappointment. That was kind of one of those things. It wasn't a huge disappointment at first. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool in the store. Thought it was cool when I got it home, and the first couple times I shot it, I knew I had to break it in, and it was going to take a little while to get it working properly. But the more I shot it, and the more I took it in and out of my safe and had to clean it and everything, I just realized that it really isn't a very fun gun. And the recoil was just punishing. So what I decided to do was poll a couple of my friends and see if anybody they knew wanted to buy a AR-style shotgun. Within 2 days, I found a guy that wanted to buy it, so I made a deal with him. Told him I had to clean it because I just shot it. So I took the whole thing apart, cleaned it really well, oiled it, put it all back together. And I met him last week. I sold it to him for cash. He's a friend of a friend, so it was a pretty good transaction. And that money is what I used to get this. I sold it for $475, which again, when you sell a gun, you're never going to get back your full value on that gun. So I didn't think I did too bad considering. I lost, about $150 on the gun, which isn't too bad considering. If I traded it in, I guarantee I would have only gotten about $350, maybe even $300 for it. It's just the way the market goes. They only give you about 60 to 70% of the market value of your gun, because then the shop has to mark it up because they need to make margin on it as well. But anyway, the $475 that I got from that gun was exactly the cost that this was at my local shop. And I'd been looking online here and there trying to find a performance center for less money. It seems like all the shops around here were selling the performance center versions of the 380 Shield EZ for $550. And no matter where you went, 3 or 4 different shops that had them in stock, it was about $550. And this one was $475 used. I'm always leery about buying a fairly new gun used because, if it's only a year or two old and somebody buys it and returns it, what's really wrong with it? That's typically what's going through my head. But in this particular case, there was nothing wrong with this gun. It came with the 2 magazines, the factory box, the cleaning kit, and everything else that you saw in my previous video. And when I picked it up, I bought 2 extra magazines from the shop. They're a little bit more money than you can find them online. I think I paid $35 a piece for the extra magazines. So, $5 or $10 more for 2 magazines, not a big deal. I just wanted to have them because I always like having 4 or 5 magazines for every gun. So picked this thing up, took it home. I did take it out to the range. That video's up as well. The only issue I had, which I knew might be an issue, the last round in the magazines, and it seems to happen randomly. It doesn't matter which magazine it was or which ammo I was shooting. It happened with 3 different magazines and 3 different brands of ammo. So it's not one or the other. I think it's just kind of a random occurrence. But the last round, when the last round would strip off the top of the magazine, it would actually get jammed in the chamber of the gun, and it would stovepipe between the barrel and the slide as the slide closed. So basically the slide would go halfway shut and the round would be sticking in it like this. So I knew that was a possibility that it might happen. People talked about it. They said one way to fix it is to just take a rough file and like notch or rough up the top of the follower in the magazine, and they say that that will help. I didn't really want to do that before I went out to the range. For one, I wanted to see if this gun was going to have that issue or not, and for two, I think if you load your magazines with 2 rounds and shoot them repeatedly over and over and over, the rounds stripping off the top of that follower in the magazine will eventually wear it in enough that you won't have that problem. That's just a theory of mine. I have nothing to back it up, but I don't really want to take a file to brand new magazines yet. I want to shoot the gun quite a bit. So the next time I take it out to the range, I'll probably do that drill where I'll just load 2 rounds in all of my magazines, shoot them off, reload the magazine, shoot them off, reload the magazine, and try to get them to wear in on their own. So we'll see if that works. But at any rate, the Shield 380 Easy, I could not be more happy with this gun. It shoots phenomenally well. I had no trouble with the grip safety on this. It's really not hard to push it in to get it to work. I have some pretty strong hands. The trigger was phenomenal. The sights were great. The recoil was very minimal. It was extremely manageable. And between this and I actually took out my Beretta 85 BB at the same time, both of them I can basically shoot the center out of a target at 7 yards, about a 1.5 by 2.5 inch target center on that. I was able to shoot out all of the paper on that. And all of my shots, even within a rapid fire, I was able to get in about a 6 by 4 inch group. So that means anything within 7 to 10 yards that's smaller than the size of, say, a rabbit, I could easily hit with either one of these pistols. The accuracy is phenomenal, and I'm super happy that I finally got one of these. I don't miss the Citadel Boss 25 at all. I think for now I'm going to stick to my Mossberg 500 shotguns. Eventually, I do want to get a semi-auto 20 gauge, probably sporting shotgun that I can take out and do clays and sporting clays and things like that a little bit better than a pump action. Thanks for watching another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. I hope the audio comes through a little bit better this time around. In the future, I'm hoping to get some better quality content. I'm really trying hard here, again, with the equipment I have now to make better content. I hope it comes through in my channel. On occasion, I can film in my living room. I can't always film in my living room because it's usually a mess. You don't see the Legos and stuff here that my kids use. But I'm trying to get better content, get you some better angles from when I'm recording things, take better videos of the targets and things like that. I am listening to my viewers, so I appreciate anything that you guys do coming out and checking out my channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. God bless America. Make sure you support your two-way rights. Get out there and shoot. And you remember, if somebody tells you to give up a little bit of your freedom for the greater good, you remind them that freedom is the greater good.